We're excited to be bringing you this podcast produced by our company, ADV Marketing. ADV Marketing develops high-quality and cost-effective marketing materials for a wide range of businesses. Our relationship-driven business model and customized marketing solutions makes us the perfect partner for small businesses looking to grow. I'm Sarah, Creative Director at ADV Marketing. Join me here with the rest of my team on Marketing Matters every other Monday to discuss business-to-business marketing topics. Now let's get into the episode.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Marketing Matters, the podcast where we talk about all things marketing and how it relates to your business. I'm one of your hosts, Morgan, joined here with Sarah.
Hello everyone.
Yeah. And Sarah, today I really am excited about this episode because I feel like it's something that I've really gotten into these last few months, and it's videography.
Fun. And we're going to do types, right?
Yep.
And then we're going to talk about pros and cons of each. Because there's actually, videography is such a wide-spanning thing.
Yeah.
And you can really do so much based off your budget and your resources and the time that you have and what content you already have made. It's a really good way to reiterate content. All the good stuff.
But I feel like a lot of people don't realize the different types. They just think of, when I first started videography, I had, kind of one thing set in my head. And it was that little, this company's so amazing. Yeah, like that, you know?
Exactly. We actually confront a lot of clients who think that, where if we say, oh, we can do video as part of your content management plan, they're like, oh, that's one thing. That's you can only mean one thing when you say video, but we can actually mean a lot of different things. And videos are nice because they do make up, I think the last thing I saw was 60 to 70% of all content on the internet or something like that, because it's so widespread. And that really has been over the past few years, and that has to do with TikTok and short-term videos and reels and all of those things. Yeah. Just that growth has really spurred on people expect video content in a lot of ways, and video content can take many shapes and forms.
Yeah.
So we're in this first section, Morgan. We're going to talk about different types, and we have 7 types that we're going to talk about. And so we're each going to explain a few of the types, and we're going to talk about what it is, the typical format, so the length, if there's any specific requirements that has to go with that, the appropriate distribution channels, because not all videos are made the same. You don't post the same thing you post on LinkedIn as you do on a TikTok. So that's very different. So we'll talk about those and the pros and cons of each. So we're going to go through 7 different types, and I will start. Are we ready?
Yes, let's rapid fire.
I know. So first we have corporate videos, and this is that typical example that that Morgan was talking about. This is the typical example of videos. This usually includes a voiceover and background music and stage sets and lots of production investment. There's lots of different angles that go into this. There's a well-rehearsed speaker, if there's a speaker at all. Otherwise, it's a compilation of B-roll, which is, I don't know what B-roll stands for, but it's the generic footage that you get walking around a factory or just general shots of people working, stuff like that. So it's on all mix of that. They're very time intensive, resource intensive. They take a lot of practice because not everyone can just sit in front of a video and talk well. Some people get camera shy. Even if they're wonderful speakers in person, the camera does something to you. So that takes a lot of practice. There's usually a script, and there might even be a teleprompter in that. So it has a lot to it. There's a lot of moving parts with this one. These are great for very controlled messaging. If you want a very specific message about your company that looks very sleek and clean, these are great. You would not want to do more than a couple because they're very time intensive, and the ones you make you'd want to use over and over and over again on all the platforms, and you can reformat them in separate ways depending on what social media platform you want to post it on. They're really great on websites.
Yes.
So putting that on a homepage, a landing page, that kind of thing, making it available on YouTube and all that good things.
Yeah. It can go on an about page even and just showcase what your company's about.
Yep. If you have a specific product or service you're pushing, those are really great for that too.
Yes.
So it just conveys a lot of information in one. So that's mine. That's your turn.
Okay. I got explainer videos. And these are typically walking through a service or a product or how to use your product. They can be, I've kind of seen them really heavily produced and a lot of voiceover, a lot of clips, and then also people can just sit there in front of a camera and just be like, this is how we would use this product.
Yeah.
So it kind of just depends on what exactly you want to do with it. Really, length depends on what the product and the service is. If you want to show how to apply this product, then it's going to be a little bit longer. But if you're just like, let's walk through the service and how it would be used, it can be shorter format. And then appropriate distribution channels. I see these a lot being used on website and LinkedIn.
Yep.
LinkedIn, it's great if you're wanting to discuss that product. And then website, it's great if you have a page talking about that product or services and you want to just have more detail for your viewer.
Yeah. They're very informational too.
Yes.
Like very, very educational. Yeah. They're not there to like market a brand.
Yeah. So that's why I think you kind of have to be careful with why you use it on LinkedIn, because it can get a little
dry.
Yeah. So, but if people are wanting that information, they're great. And if you know that people don't know fully what your service is or what your product is used for, and you want to use that, it's a great way to do it.
Yes. That's like in the late funnel stages when they're like, I'm really, really interested. I just need to know a little bit more about how it fits into my standard operating procedures. You send them this video. It's a great way to digest that.
Yes.
Okay. That was explainer videos. I now have project highlight videos. Project highlight videos are a video form of case studies. So you can even take case studies and turn them into project highlight videos. They're really nice for companies with like a portfolio of projects or a portfolio of content around certain projects. They're easiest if you have a product that can be taken pictures of or taken footage of. So it's pretty hard to do project highlight videos for like a service, because that would be stock footage heavy, because you can't really film most services unless you like film an Excel spreadsheet, I guess, for some things, which would not be the most engaging video. Or it would really have to be that, because it's really about case studies. If you do have pictures of these cases or these projects, it's really great to put together, and it's just another way to highlight the case, the cases that you've done, the success of clients, and all the good things. These are really great for like the influencing consideration and then getting in front of people and building credibility and all that.
Yes. Next up, we have montages. So this is pretty low budget actually, because really all you need is photos or very, very short video clips, and you kind of just put them all together. So it's really easy for just any marketer to use that has any video editing background. And you don't really have to do voiceover. You can if you want, but typically they're just pictures with a little bit of music behind it. If you want to just showcase like a service and do a whole bunch of photos of a service, you can do that. Product photos, all that stuff. And really appropriate distribution channels. I feel like LinkedIn, newsletters, short form content.
Yeah, newsletters a good one. You could put together a montage of lots of different things.
I feel like they don't go as well on the websites because it doesn't give you as much information.
No, that's just a way to like promote your content another way. But I mean, they could always be available on YouTube, and you probably would want them available on some sort of streaming service. But anyway. Okay, cool. Now I have short form videos. Short form videos, and how I'm defining them for this situation, are like snippets of videos. They're super, super short, like second short. They don't go anywhere except like on your LinkedIn. And I'm going to focus on LinkedIn, but they're also like great for Facebook and Instagram, I guess. TikTok, you would want like some sort of explanation with it, but anyway.
Or this isn't really like marketing, but if you're designing a website and you want to use them as a background or like a decorative piece.
Yeah, it's that. And it's a way to catch attention and make a social media post a little bit different. So it's not just a static picture. They tend to get better. Do they get better engagement? Maybe they get better impressions. They just like reach more people.
But that's because on LinkedIn, if it's a short-term video and it's under 20 seconds, LinkedIn will loop it.
Yes. And it's the same. So this is like another consumer behavior thing. If you haven't seen our consumer behavior episode at the beginning of the season, check it out. But one of the things that humans are automatically geared towards noticing is movement, because like if there's a snake in the grass, you would want to notice that as a survival technique. So using that like cue in moving things on social media captures your attention more. So if you're incorporating videos on your social media, then it's just more eye-catching, just as like a consumer behavior kind of thing. Drone footage is really, really great for this, because drone footage is really interesting and people really like to see like the bird's eye view because it's visually appealing. So if you break up drone footage into short form and just do like a couple seconds of really solid drone footage, you have like really great content and a really good way to boost your social media without like having to do too much. It's very budget friendly because you already have the drone footage. That's if you already have the drone footage. Once you make that initial investment, you can use it 1,000 different ways. But definitely not something you want to put on your website. It's not for that. Well, unless it's a background, unless it's a design element. This is really more about social media.
Okay, next is podcast. And I feel like a lot of people don't think about it as a video. But this, if you're watching it on YouTube right now, it's a video.
That is, yeah.
It counts.
It does count.
So obviously more produced because you got to go through all this editing. You got to get the lighting, the camera, all that. But it's really simple to do because it's just two people talking or one person talking, whatever you want for it. Distribution channels. A lot of people put podcasts on their website on a page. So website for sure. Promote it on LinkedIn, other social media channels. You could do it in a newsletter if you have a new episode coming out and you want to showcase that. I'm trying to think. Anything else with the content types?
They're really nice to have as like a video, or I guess if you're doing audio, it still counts as like a video blog in a way, because it's reoccurring content, it's consistent, and it's updating your website regularly. So it's a great way to kill two birds in one stone in terms of like you regular putting out content through a podcast video. They are more time intensive and you have to figure out what format works for you.
Yeah.
This is true. I like podcasting, obviously. I'm here.
But we also do shorter podcasts.
Yes, which is the format that fits us.
Yeah.
So that's podcasting. Next is picture stories. Picture stories are a form of a montage. They're a specific kind of montage. Picture stories are great if you have literally nothing but want to start doing video and you have pictures of something. You can put together montages and do a story with that and just lay out the different stages, like the beginning, middle, and end, using specific pictures. You just have to get good about taking pictures when your people are out doing things or in your projects. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy because picture stories can be like iPhone photos. That's hard to say. So it can be that. They shouldn't be terrible, but you can use a lot of different kinds because it is a montage and you're pulling together lots of different types of media. It's more forgiving and it's a lot more budget friendly. Definitely put these on LinkedIn for sure. And then newsletters are really great. They're just a different way to communicate information. And they don't have to be about projects, but it's a great way to do a project highlight video, stuff like that. So the production is really like, it's an easy gateway into doing videos for the first time. Okay. Those are the 7 types.
Yeah.
How fun.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. But we're going to wrap up this section. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how to be even more budget friendly with your videography and some tips and tricks to choose specific types of videos and get started in a way that doesn't just spend all your budget on one video. So we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. Now we're going to talk about our tips for budget-friendly videography because let's be real, videography can really get carried away with spending. That's why agencies are nice because they already have that equipment and you don't have to buy specific individualized equipment. And you can really pull your resources in a more effective way, if I can just make that plug right there. But videography really does, if you don't set limits for yourself, it can get really, really expensive because the equipment is so expensive and time consuming because there's lots of planning that goes into certain types of videos. So it can be really resource intensive, but there's also really budget friendly ways to do it. And here are some of those ways. Use what you have. I promise you have something that can be turned into a video, whether it's a project highlight, a picture story, a montage, something. If you have, you can even do an animation, like that counts as a video too. And you can find someone who does animation, or you can just animate some text across a picture. There's really good ways to not make it look cheap and still accomplish the I want a video objective. You just have to be really intentional about what you're saying and how you're using it. Case studies and project highlights are a really great entry point for this because you're already telling a story through a case study or a project highlight, and videos really mesh well with story-friendly content. Okay. So use what you have. That's my first recommendation. Don't just be like, I need a whole new camera for a whole new type of video I've never done before.
Or even if you don't have pictures, but you're like, we have this really cool job coming up, just take your phone and take those pictures and then send them over to your marketing people and be like, hey, make me a little video.
True that. Short form video is the next budget friendly advice that I have. Short form is really, really accessible because like Morgan said, you can use your iPhone for short form video. You don't need anything special. It's short, so it's minimal editing. You don't have to sit there for hours going over and over the same 10-minute video. As you can probably tell, I've done this before. It is a time suck because you really have to get things right when you're editing a longer video, like one of those corporate videos. So shorter videos don't require as much editing and they look very authentic if you post them in the right channel, usually LinkedIn, because they're shorter and they're usually your point of view. So you can have like real life commentary on it and it's more relatable to people. So don't shy away from the short form. Use and reuse videos. Don't spend like $1,200 on a really great video and then never use it more than once. They are very much worth using over and over again because you invested that much into them. You can split them up if they're compatible with that. You can do certain content types. You can split them up through an article, which is really great. You could do that. Make it last because you invested in it. So make it last.
Even your cheaper budget-friendly ones like we're talking about, you can always reuse a short-form video.
Yeah.
If you're doing it of like a construction project and you're like, actually, I really like this construction project. I like this aspect of it. I want to go make a post about something related to it.
How like they saved the trees.
Yeah.
Or how they protected the landscaping.
Yeah. Or like, even if it's an office and you're like, we'll do a post about the project itself, the office building. But then you know what? Let's just do another generic post about offices and like we'll use a clip from that video.
As B-roll. That's a B-roll example. And honestly, using the short form stuff of your own stuff really does do better than stock footage. And stock footage is real enticing because it's like right there and it looks all nice, but it's very rarely relatable to you or your business.
Yeah. Also, if you want guidance, Adobe Stock has video templates if you have photos and you can just put them into that if you know how to use Premiere Pro and all that.
Which you might not. I wouldn't blame you. Premiere Pro.
That's for like the more advanced marketing, not the like business person doing marketing.
That is not the easiest software, but if you know how to use it, leverage that. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so those are our budget-friendly tips. We really like talking about videography. Obviously, we sit here and do podcasts, and then we also do our own videos, so we know firsthand that it is not that easy to sit on the other side of a camera and speak. It's something about the camera.
It's something about the camera. And I mean, even when you're creating shot list and knowing how much goes into that, like we understand it and we can help you.
Yeah, for sure. The camera eye is really intimidating.
Yeah.
It's really funny when you put someone who hasn't been in front of a camera before in front of a camera, like our clients, and they're like, I don't know where to look. Yeah. Because it feels very intimidating to look at the camera. Breaking the wall. Which, you know, you're not really supposed to break the wall except in these kinds of videos when we are talking directly to you. Okay, so those are our tips and our definitions for the different types of ways that you can incorporate videography into your messaging. Be sure to subscribe for our next few episodes. We have really fun content topics coming up that we're going to talk about. And rate our podcast, please. Give us feedback. Tell us how we're doing. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.